This review is going to serve as my review and opinion on the Yardsport YS200. Well, I'll do a drive demo there at the end, but I want to talk about some of the things that have broken, some of the maintenance, what it's mainly used for, and if you're thinking about buying one, this should be a good video for you to watch. First of all, this is not an off-road UTV. You can't compare it to a Razor or Rhino or anything like that. This is basically kind of a small golf cart. Now if you were to compare this to like an easy-go golf cart, a golf cart's going to ride a little better. It's going to be wider. If you put two adults in this, you're a little bit squished. Now like an easy-go golf cart, you have plenty of room for two adults to sit in there. As far as comparing it to a golf cart, this is probably a little faster. I don't know if you care about that or not, but it does have some good cargo. It does come with a hitch. It does come with seat belts, a roll cage, so it has a couple more features than a golf cart. Now that's probably about the only thing that I would compare it to. Like I said, it's nowhere near a UTV of any kind. And as far as what I think it's going to work best for is kind of how I have it set up right here. I'm about 400 feet from the garage. I've got my weed and feed. I can put about 6 bags back here. I can fill up the hopper with about 3 bags, and I can go all the way out to the end of the property spreading fertilizer or lime, whatever I need to, without having to go back to the garage and refill. Now if I did it while I was mowing, I'd have to continually go back to the garage, get more bags, refill the hopper, that sort of thing. Another reason I think this would be a good kind of a yard vehicle for someone. Let's say you've got some 12-year-old to 16-year-old kids and you need a lot of sticks cleaned up, or maybe you need to spread some mulch. This kind of makes yard work a little bit fun for kids. Another reason this might work for someone, let's say you're older, 60 years old plus, and you've got a large yard. This can kind of serve as kind of some transportation for you. Maybe you have a garage out back of your property, and this is kind of a good transport vehicle just to get you out to kind of where you need to be on a large property. Now, as far as how much property do you need, in my opinion, to make this valuable, I think you need at least 2.5 acres, and this would come in handy. It could save you some time, saves you a lot of walking distance, stuff like that. Now this is the 2-wheel drive version. I believe they made a 4-wheel drive version, and this was mainly sold through Menards, and this is made in China. So as far as longevity, the motor runs really good, runs just as good as it did when it was new. This one's about 10 years old, but the transmission to me feels a little cheap. So that's where I think if anything is going to fail, it's probably the transmission. So I don't pull anything real heavy with mine. I kind of be pretty careful with it, so I want it to last. As far as what's broken on it, the only thing that's really broken is this light up here. The original factory light quit working. I could not find a replacement bulb. It was kind of a sealed unit, so I just bought a new LED off Amazon and wired it right in. As far as anything else actually breaking, nothing has broken so far. The only thing that I've kind of modified is the accelerator pedal comes with a very, very stiff spring from the factory. You really got to push down hard on the accelerator. And if you're using this all day long, it's kind of annoying. It's a little daunting on your foot. So the spring is really easy to replace. I just went to the local hardware store and got a spring that was a little bit thinner and a little bit longer, and the accelerator is much easier to push now. As far as braking goes, if you hit the brakes hard enough, it will lock up the tires. So the brakes do work pretty well, and they are disc brakes. As far as gas goes, putting gas in this is kind of a pain. I usually lift up the rear gate, and the gas goes in right here. It's kind of down deep, so it's hard to get gas in there. That's probably about the only pain that this thing has. As far as maintenance goes, takes like a quart of oil, has a really small oil filter. I usually change it, every spring. As far as how long does it run on a tank of gas, According to the manual, it will go 70 miles, which is probably true because I can use this thing almost half the summer before I ever have to put gas in it. Well, other than that, I'll take the GoPro and we'll go for a ride up and down here in the grass. I'll do a hard brake, and then I'll do like a fast acceleration. As far as mile per hour goes, I would say it's got to do at least 20 miles an hour. I don't have anything to check it with, but it's pretty fast. I have had a golf cart in the past, and this is way faster than a golf cart. As far as comfort of ride, this thing's pretty stiff. Maybe it's because of the bed for carrying capacity, I'm not quite sure, but it does not ride nearly as nice as like a golf cart would. So other than that, we'll take it for a ride and go from there. Just as far as startup procedure, I don't ever have to hit the gas or anything. It's got a little choke knob right here. You can pull it out and twist it, and that's what keeps the choke on. And it's semi-cold-blooded. If it is cold outside, you're gonna have to leave the choke on for quite a while. But other than that, it's just a simple turn of the key, and it fires right up. It does have a parking brake too. If you have a hilly yard, you can engage that parking brake and it will hold it on a hill. Alright, so let's go for a ride. Alright, so I'm going to do a quick little walk around before we take off in this. One thing I wanted to point out are these tool holders. You can actually hold like rakes, shovels, whatever you need to. It's on both sides. And you can see the suspension there. Now I haven't washed this in probably 2 years. It does stay pretty clean for the amount of usage that I do. There's the battery. There's an oil filter down there. There is the gear shifter for forward, neutral, reverse. As you can see, the suspension up here in the front as well. It's all independent suspension. And you can see the disc brake there. Like I said, the brakes work great. It's got headlights on it, and the headlights do work pretty well at night. And we'll come around to this side here. And like I said, another tool holder on this side. Here's the lever to dump the box, and there's a lever on both sides. You can dump it from either side of the machine. And here's this kind of a quick view of the cockpit. You got a cigarette lighter there. There's your key and your headlight and the tail light. Cup holder right there. And you can see back here there is another cup holder, and that is the pain in the butt gas cap that I was telling you about. And that is the light from Amazon I bought for it, which works 10 times better than the original. You can see I got my hopper hooked up here, the fertilizer spreader. I have a little welded on hitch there. And you can drop the gate on this as well, so if you want to dump like a load of dirt or something, it will dump right out of there. And it's not too heavy, it's actually leveraged pretty well. But we'll take it for a ride and see what you guys think. Kind of a sharp turn here. Turning radius is not super sharp, but it's not bad. And I'll do a full throttle run. I'm going to turn around up here. I'll go full throttle, then I'll hit the brakes. You guys can see how good the brakes work. All right, here's going to be a hard brake. stops pretty well. I could actually probably hit it harder, but it would probably tear up my grass. So I'm gonna go over into the a little bit bumpier side of the yard. Yeah, maybe you guys can kind of tell, you know, kind of how rough and choppy it rides. That's going to conclude my review and opinion on this YS200. If you guys are looking for one, you're only going to be able to buy it used right now. As far as my opinion goes, if that matters to you, I would not pay more than $1,500 for one of these. I've seen them on eBay, Craigslist, and Marketplace for $800 to $2,000 range. To me, as far as longevity and kind of cheapness of it, I would not pay more than $1,500 for it. So I hope this video helps you, and thanks for watching.